Okay, starting a project after payment. So this is a pretty straightforward template. You're just going to let the client know how you're going to communicate, what the first steps are, how the project's going to start, what they need to know on their side to get things going. But what's important here is only send this once you get paid. A lot of freelancers think that, oh, they're close to paying, the deal's nearly locked in, so let's go ahead and get the project going because this will get some momentum. That is a mistake. Don't do that. Make sure that until the deposit is in your account that you're still focusing on selling. Close that deal, lock it in, get paid the deposit or the full amount depending on the deal. And when that money is in your account, then send this template and get things going. So pretty straightforward template, but send it at the right time after you got paid. And if you aren't paid yet, don't kick off this project, don't get things started. Keep the focus on closing the deal and just getting them to lock in and pay you the money that you need to kick things off. So hope this helps. Put it into action. Okay, project milestone update. This is a pretty straightforward email. You're going to send this when an important stage, an important part of the project is now complete. You're letting the client know. If you need to request some changes, you can just quickly add that into this template. If it's more just letting them know, hey, this is now done, we're moving on to the next stage, then just send this template as it is. Keep in mind that this form of the template is when there's no issues, there's no clear problems or anything that you think you need to mention. If there is any problems or if you see any issues, then jump out of this section, check out the project issue section, and you'll see different versions of this, or when maybe you need to request more feedback or their input or some changes or whatever it is. So use this template when things are going well. If there's any sort of potential issue though, check out the other section and there will be other versions of this template. Okay, so setting up a client meeting. Sometimes throughout the project, something comes up and either there's a problem, there's a challenge, you want some feedback, you want some input, whatever it is. Use this template to quickly send it over to the client and get a call lined up as quickly as possible. I suggest that you have a calendar with your available times so that you can then just put it in the email. It cuts down on excess communication. But if you don't, suggest some times or ask them what's the time that's good for them. And then either they send you a link or you send them back a link. So all pretty straightforward. And yeah, just use this when you need to talk to the client. You don't want to do this every couple of days. Obviously, we don't want to be pestering the client. But when there is something important that it's just not going to go so well with email, set up the call, talk in person or talk online, whatever it is, and just get through it as fast as possible, because the goal here is to keep moving the projects forward as quickly as you can. So if you need to do this, use this template and hope that it helps. Okay, so weekly or monthly reporting. Sometimes you're doing a very large project that's going to continue on over time. It's going to take quite a bit of time to get finished. Or other times you're getting paid by the week or by the month. And in either of these cases, it's very, very good to check in weekly or monthly, depending on the sort of project that you have. The idea is to let the client know what is going on. So if a client is paying you a lot of money or a certain amount of money and they just don't hear anything from you, that's not necessarily good. Even if you're making a lot of progress, it can still cause them a lot of anxiety because they just haven't heard from you and they have no idea what is going on. So it makes sense to check in regularly, let them know what's going on. Even if everything's good, which is of course perfect, let them know it's all good. If there's any challenges you faced, if there's anything that's slowing you down a little bit, if there's any sort of problems, bring it up, let them know that you're working on it, let them know what you think is going to be the best solution. Or if you need their input or their feedback or whatever it is, just request that and then you can keep moving things forwards. But overall, the most important thing here is regular, clear communication about the progress of the project so that the client knows and is aware what's going on. They're after giving you money or they're giving you money. Where is it going? Is progress being made? Is this on track? What's happening? They want to know these sort of things. So use this template when it makes sense and just have that clear communication so the client is up to speed and they know exactly where the project is at. Okay, sometimes you're working on a project and the scope or the timeline has to change. That's totally fine as long as you have clear communication with the client. Use this template to let them know what's going on, why did this happen, what changes are going to have to be made, what that means for the project and what that means for them and the sort of results that they're expecting. Now in this particular template, we haven't discussed budget. That's more of a project issue. So if you have to adjust the budget, go check out the project issue section. But if it's just a scope or timeline, oftentimes that's totally fine to do. You just have to let the client know the situation. So use this template if it's not too big of a deal and it just is what it is. But if it's a project issue, go to the project issue section and then you can see how to deal with a more serious situation. So hope this helps. Best of luck. Okay, extra resources requests. So there's been a lot of time over the years when I'm helping freelancers that I see them say something like, hey, I'm working on this project and I'm getting these sort of results for the client. But if I could do this extra thing, if the client would pay for this extra thing, I know we could get way better results. But they don't think that they should tell the client for some reason. You definitely should. So if you're working on a project, you should let the client know, hey, this extra piece of software, this extra tool, this extra whatever can get you way better results. And they don't have to pay for it because you've already locked in on the deal. And if they don't want to change the deal, that's totally fine. But you should let them know about this option. If you see something that can definitely increase the results of the project, make it easier for them, tracking, reporting, results, conversions, whatever it is, it's just going to make whatever you're doing better. Let them know and see if they're open to you setting this up, getting it for them, whatever it is, and just let them know what the costs are and of course the benefits and the purpose. Now, sometimes you got to get them to set it up in their own name. Sometimes you can set it up for them and you can just add it on to the price of the project and include it in the budget or in the final invoice or whatever. Depends on, of course, does the software have to be in their name or is it a tool that you can download once and you can just set it up for them? So I'll leave that to you. You obviously know the particular circumstances, but use this when it comes up to just let the client know, hey, are you open to this idea? It's going to make the project better. Here's how, here's what it costs. What do you think? If they go with it, perfect. If they don't, that's fine. Just continue with the original project plan. Okay, informing the client of anything that could be potentially risky. So in this section, we're looking at project management. A huge part of that is staying ahead of potential issues. So you see an issue, you don't wait till the last minute, or you don't wait till it's actually now a problem. You try, see ahead and prevent it from happening in the first place. So if you see something coming up that could be potentially risky, some kind of problem, maybe it's going to get the project off track or something's going to break or it's not going to work or it could lead to the wrong sort of results or in the wrong direction, let the client know in advance what's going on. If you can identify the way forwards, just let them know, hey, this is why we're changing things. This is why we're going in this new direction. If you need their input, if you need their feedback or their approval, then obviously ask for that as well. So use this template when it comes up. The overall idea here, stay ahead of anything that can slow down or destroy the results that you're trying to get in the projects that you're doing for your clients. So really hope that this helps. Best of luck. Okay, draft review feedback. So this is basically you got to a certain stage or a certain part of the project and you just want to make sure it's all good before you move ahead. That's very important because you don't want to move through different stages. Then the client spots something in a previous stage that they want to change and now you're going back and forth. The project's slowing down, you're doing a ton of extra work and any changes that you're making are impacting all these other parts of the project that didn't necessarily have to happen. So get approval for the stages that you're working in before you move ahead so that you don't have to move backwards. And to do that, just use this template whenever it makes sense to get approval or feedback or suggestions or whatever it is at the stage that you're at. So check out this template and need it. So check out this template and use it when you need to. All right, meeting, recap, email plus next steps. This is an easy move to do that's super high value. Basically, anytime you have a meeting with a client, you talk about something on Zoom or whatever system you're using, just recap the meeting, put it in this template, send it over to the client within a couple of hours, at the most 24 hours, and just show that you got it, you were listening, and that you both agree that this is what's going on, what the next steps are, and what direction the project is moving in. Highly recommend that you do this so that you have a written record of what you talked about, because it's very easy if you don't write things down to misremember, or the client thinks one thing and you think another thing. And then a couple of weeks later, you figure out, oh, we're actually thinking about different things. We had different goals in mind, we had different expectations, and now you have all these problems. So anytime you talk, put it in writing, send it to the client, and now you both have a record of what you're both agreeing on, what are the next steps, what's going to be done next, what direction things are heading in. So really hope that this helps. Use it anytime that you have a meeting and send it over to the client as soon as possible. Okay, delivering the final draft. This is a template that you will use after you've made the final changes that maybe the client has recommended or that you've spotted yourself. But either way, you've discussed certain things in the project that needed to be done until it's finally complete, ready to go, project's finished. And this is the template that you're going to send as you deliver that final version or draft or whatever it is. So use this, send it over. There should not be any more changes at this stage, but if there is, you can just catch those and complete them according to your contract. So we'll have the contract section in here. Use that to dial in your contract. But in this case, this is what you are going to send once the project is done and you just want to send over that final version. So hope that this helps, hope that this gets the project completed, but any issues, check out the project issues section within this course, or check out the contract section to just dial it in from the beginning for future projects that you're working on. Okay, project review and future work. This is a nice little template to do two things at once. Okay, project review and future work. This is a really nice template to achieve two goals at once. One, you're going to get them to just confirm that they're happy with everything, they're getting good results, everything's been good since this project went live. The second one is you're going to suggest some things that they could now do next. So this isn't a hard sell. You're not like super pushing them to do this, but you're just going to say, hey, now that we got this done, we can see some results, we can see this feedback, we can see how the customers or clients are behaving, whatever it is. Now that we have this initial results, what about now doing this next thing that could help in this other way and get you even more results, even more benefits, whatever it is. So you're using a review to kind of get your foot in the door and just lightly suggest some new possible things that you could also work on for this client that gets them even more results. Maybe they say yes, maybe they say no, but why not take the chance, see what they have to say. And if they are interested, start lining up a sales call and start locking in the next deal and doing even more work for the clients that you're helping. Why not? Basically, they already hired you to do some work. If it's getting results, push for a little bit more and see what happens.